Let me ask you something. Why aren't you where you want to be? Why is it that every time you take one step forward, life pulls you 3 steps back? You want success, you dream about it, you post about it, but when it's time to show up, when it's time to grind, you fall. And let me tell you something you might not want to hear. The reason you failed isn't because the odds were stacked against you. It's not because you didn't get the breaks or because someone didn't believe in you. You failed because you gave up before the work was done. You failed because you let your excuses define you. This speech isn't just about calling you out. It's about waking you up because you're not going to fail again. Not on my watch. By the time I'm done, you're going to understand what's been holding you back and, more importantly, how to break free from it. Stick with me, because this isn't just another motivational talk. This is your turning point. Success isn't talent, it's discipline. You've been sold a lie that only the talented make it. But success isn't about talent. It's about showing up every single day. It's about doing the things you don't want to do when you don't feel like doing them. The world doesn't reward potential. It rewards results. Failure happens when you stop trying, not when you fall. Listen, failure isn't when you fall. It's when you decide to stay down. Winners fall just as much as losers. The difference is they get back up every single time. Your comfort zone is your biggest enemy. You're failing because you're too comfortable. Growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. It happens in the trenches, in the pain, in the grind. If you're not uncomfortable, you're not growing. Period. Excuses are the seeds of failure. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I don't have the connections. These excuses, they're lies you tell yourself to justify staying in the same place. Kill the excuses or they'll kill your dreams. Sacrifice is the price of greatness. If you're not willing to give up sleep, comfort, or some part of your old life, you're not ready for success. Greatness demands sacrifice. There's no way around it. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. The failures, the rejections, the losses, they're not the end, they're the beginning of your comeback story. Every setback is a lesson, a test, and a chance to rise stronger. Stop blaming others on your life. Nobody's coming to save you, your parents, your friends, your boss. They're not the reason you're stuck. Stop pointing fingers and start taking responsibility for your life. Success demands consistency, not perfection. You're not failing because you're not perfect. You're failing because you're inconsistent. Stop waiting for the perfect plan, the perfect moment. Just show up and do the work every single day. Your why must be stronger than your pain. When the grind gets tough, and it will, your why has to be louder than your pain. If your reason for starting isn't strong enough, you'll quit every time it gets hard. The difference between winners and losers is persistence. At the end of the day, it's not the smartest, the fastest, or the strongest who win. It's the one who refuses to give up. Persistence beats everything else. Now, here's the truth. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is you. Your excuses, your fears, your lack of discipline. But today, you decide. Will you keep failing or will you rise up and fight for your dream? This is your moment, your wake-up call. So what's it going to be? Will you stay where you are or will you finally step into the greatness you were born for? It's time to stop failing and start winning. Let's go. You've been told that success is something only a few are born with, that it's reserved for the talented, the gifted, the lucky. But let me tell you the truth. Talent means nothing without discipline. Discipline is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. It's not about how naturally skilled you are. It's about how much you're willing to sacrifice, how often you're willing to show up, and how hard you're ready to work when no one is watching. The world doesn't reward potential. It rewards action. It rewards consistency. Think about it. How many talented people do you know who never made it because they couldn't commit? They had the skill, they had the ideas, but when the pressure hit, they folded. Why? Because they didn't have the discipline to push through. Discipline means doing the work when you don't feel like it. It's waking up earlier than you want to. It's staying focused when distractions are screaming your name. It's saying no to what's easy and yes to what's hard because you know that the hard path leads to greatness. Talent might get you noticed, but discipline will keep you in the game long after everyone else has quit. And here's the thing. Discipline isn't something you're born with, it's a choice. Every single day you choose whether to be disciplined or not. You choose whether to give in to comfort or push through discomfort. That choice, it defines your future. Success isn't about who you are today. It's about who you're willing to become through consistent, disciplined action. Failure doesn't happen when you stumble, fall, or make mistakes. That's part of the journey. The only real failure is when you choose not to get back up. Every successful person you admire has faced failure again and again. The difference is they didn't let it stop them. They didn't let one bad day, one rejection, or one loss define their entire story. Think about it. How many times have you let a single setback make you doubt your abilities? How often have you told yourself, maybe this isn't for me, just because things didn't go your way? That mindset, that belief that one failure means it's over is what's holding you back. Falling is inevitable, but staying down, that's a choice. Every time you fall, you're given a chance to learn, to adapt, to grow. Those falls aren't signs of weakness. They're proof that you're in the game. If you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough. But the ones who make it, they're the ones who look failure in the face and say, not today. They rise, dust themselves off, and try again. So the next time you fall, don't waste time beating yourself up. Don't let shame or self-doubt take over. Instead, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What will I do differently next time? And then, most importantly, get back up. The road to success is paved with failures, but only if you keep walking. You've been playing it safe, haven't you? Staying in that little bubble where everything feels comfortable, predictable, and easy. But let me tell you something. Your comfort zone is your biggest enemy. It's the invisible chain that's keeping you stuck right where you are, stopping you from becoming the person you're meant to be. Comfort feels good, but it's a trap. Nothing grows in comfort. Think about it. Muscles don't grow unless they're stretched to their limits. Diamonds aren't formed without pressure. And you can't achieve greatness unless you're willing to step into discomfort, to feel the pain, the fear, the uncertainty. That's where growth happens. Every time you choose comfort, every time you avoid the hard conversation, skip the workout, procrastinate on the task, you're giving up a piece of your potential. You're choosing short-term ease over long-term success. And that choice is costing you your dreams. The truth is, if you want to win, you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. You have to embrace the grind, the struggle, the moments when you want to quit. Because that's where the magic happens. That's where you discover your strength, your resilience, your true self. So stop hiding in your comfort zone. Step out into the unknown. Face the challenges head on. It won't be easy, but it will be worth it, because the life you want is waiting for you just outside your comfort zone. Let's be real for a moment. How many times have you told yourself, I would have made it if only I had more time, if only I had more support, if only things were different? Sound familiar? Those excuses you cling to? They're the very chains holding you back. Excuses feel safe, don't they? They give you a way out. They give you something to point at when things don't go your way. But here's the truth. Excuses don't protect you. They rob you. They rob you of the life you could have, the success you deserve, and the potential you've been sitting on for years. Every time you say, I can't because, you're giving away your power. You're telling yourself in the world that circumstances are stronger than you, but they're not. The only thing standing in your way is the story you keep telling yourself. Because while you're busy making excuses, someone else with the same challenges or worse is out there making it happen. Let me make this clear. Your excuses aren't real. They're just fear in disguise. Fear of failing, fear of judgment, fear of stepping into the unknown. But if you want to win, you've got to let them go. You've got to stop focusing on what you don't have and start using what you do. It's time to take responsibility. No more blaming your situation, your past, or other people. Own your life. Because as long as you hold on to excuses, you're choosing failure. Let them go, and you'll finally see how powerful you really are. Let me tell you something you might not want to hear. You cannot have success without sacrifice. I don't care how badly you want it, how talented you are, or how big your dreams are. If you're not willing to give something up, you'll never reach the top. Look at the people you admire, the ones who've made it. They didn't just stumble into greatness. They paid the price. They sacrificed sleep to chase their dreams. They gave up nights out, distractions, and anything that didn't serve their goals. They said no to comfort so they could say yes to their future. What? And that's where most people fall short. They want the reward without the sacrifice. They want the success, but don't want to give up the things holding them back. But let me tell you this. If you're not willing to let go of the old version of yourself, you'll never step into the new one. Sacrifice isn't punishment, it's the price of greatness. It's the hard choices you make now so you can live the life you want later. It's skipping the parties so you can build something that lasts. It's waking up earlier, working longer, and pushing harder when others won't. Ask yourself, what are you willing to give up to get where you want to be? Because if you're not ready to sacrifice for your dreams, you don't really want them. Success doesn't come to those who wish for it. It comes to those who work for it, no matter what they have to leave behind. Let me tell you something, that setback you're crying over is not the end of your story. That rejection, that failure, that disappointment is not there to break you, it's there to build you. Every single setback is a setup for a comeback, but only if you see it that way. You're going to face obstacles, you're going to fall. That's life. But the difference between people who succeed and people who stay stuck is how they handle those moments. Do you let them define you? Do you let them make you bitter? Or do you let them fuel your hunger to bounce back stronger? Listen, nobody remembers how many times you failed. They remember how you got up. They remember the fight, the resilience, the determination. Your setbacks aren't failures unless you stop moving forward. They're lessons, tests, and opportunities to learn what didn't work and figure out what will. Every great comeback story starts with a struggle. Michael Jordan got cut from his high school basketball team. Oprah was told she wasn't fit for TV. J.K. Rowling was rejected by publishers over and over again. But they didn't let the setback define their destiny. They let it refine their strategy. So here's the challenge. Stop looking at your setbacks as the end of the road. Start seeing them as stepping stones. Because every time you fall, you're one step closer to standing taller. The question isn't, will you face setbacks? You will. The real question is, what do you want to do about it? It's time to rise. Let's stop the blame game right now. You're not stuck because of your parents, your friends, your boss, or your circumstances. You're stuck because you've been pointing fingers instead of taking responsibility. The hard truth, the life you're living is the life you've allowed. Blaming others might feel good in the moment. It's easy to say, I'm not where I want to be because someone didn't give me a chance, or they didn't believe in me. But every time you blame someone else, you're giving away your power. You're saying they control your destiny, not you. And that's a lie. Your life is yours to own. It doesn't matter if people doubted you, if opportunities were taken from you, or if the odds were stacked against you. Plenty of people have risen above worse. The difference? They stopped wasting energy blaming others and started putting that energy into action. Ownership is freedom. When you own your life, you stop waiting for someone to fix it for you. You stop expecting a handout, a lucky break, or someone to come rescue you. You realize that the only person who can change your life is staring back at you in the mirror. So ask yourself, are you going to keep blaming others for why you're not where you want to be? Or are you finally going to take control? Own your mistakes and create the life you've been dreaming about. It starts with you. No more excuses. No more blame. Just action. Consistency. That's the word nobody wants to talk about because it's not flashy, it's not exciting, and it doesn't happen overnight. But let me tell you something. Success doesn't require perfection. It demands consistency. And that's where so many people fail. You're not losing because you lack talent. You're not falling behind because you don't have resources. You're stuck because you're not showing up every single day. You start strong, full of energy and ambition, but when things get hard, when life gets messy, you stop. You break the cycle. And that's why you're not where you want to be. Think about it. How many times have you made promises to yourself? I'll start tomorrow. I'll stick with it this time. But when the motivation fades, so do your actions. Success isn't about motivation. It's about discipline. It's about doing the work whether you feel like it or not. Winners don't quit when it's inconvenient. They don't take days off from their dreams. They understand that consistency is the key to momentum. One day turns into 1 week. 1 week turns into 1 month. And before you know it, those small daily actions add up to massive results. So here's the truth. You don't have to be perfect to win. You just have to be consistent, show up, do the work over and over again, even when it's boring, even when it's hard. Because while everyone else is waiting for the right time, you already be ahead. Consistency beats everything else. It's not glamorous, but it's the difference between dreaming and achieving.